Okay, so this video is going to focus around one instance of essay. I wanted to put all the essay allegations into one video, part 3, final video until Jimmy responds at least.
All right, here's the latest on the MrBeast situation. Dogpack, the ex-employee who exposed MrBeast, just dropped his third video, and things are getting intense. MrBeast is being called out for staging videos, faking contestants, treating his employees badly, and even stealing millions from innocent people. No wonder these videos have racked up 30 million views. Now, he's deleting hate comments, getting hit with dislikes, and rumors of legal threats are everywhere. But with all this new evidence, one big question remains. How much longer can MrBeast keep hiding the truth? Dogpack kicks things off by revealing that there's even more to come. He's planning a part 4. He says he couldn't fit all the shocking allegations into the latest video because he needed approval from victims and lawyers, making it a much bigger process than expected. But part 4 is on the way, and it's set to drop after MrBeast responds to everything that's been exposed so far. All right, let's dive into the James Warren allegations. He's the guy who's supposedly MrBeast's CEO and cousin. All right, so we're already looking at like 50 different accusations here, and things are getting sketchy. Especially with social media accounts being taken down, the second MrBeast's name gets mentioned. Most fans probably had no clue there was another CEO named James Warren because everyone just assumes MrBeast runs the show and does everything perfectly. But this is what's really going on behind the scenes of a massive media empire like MrBeast. Now, obviously, someone in the CEO position shouldn't have any history of domestic violence, disturbing behavior, drug addiction, or allegations of harassment involving a female colleague, right? These are serious claims that need to be addressed right away. Even if it's not directly MrBeast's fault, he still needs to take responsibility for who's running his company. We're talking about the top spot here. There shouldn't be any hidden figures pulling the strings.
I feel really guilty about the way this shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, it's fucked up, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, because you deserve to get paid more. I don't have a kid.
And then there's the update where MrBeast apologized and made a payment to a contestant from a previous video. Quick refresher. This contestant claimed he was mistreated, denied sleep, forced to run a tough marathon without any preparation, and didn't get paid the full prize. MrBeast's apology seems like it's trying to clean up the mess.
But the reason I'm publishing this is that hopefully it brings more information to light, like after the Jake Weddle interview got posted, which was all mostly testimony. People came out corroborating a story, and then ultimately Jimmy ended up apologizing and offering him $190,000, which to me I think is most likely an admission of guilt. You don't apologize for things that you didn't do.
All right, if someone is innocent, they wouldn't be paying out nearly $200,000. It's good that there's an apology. But if the serious claims about torture are true, a simple apology doesn't really cut it. Torture is something that can't be brushed off easily. It's more than just saying sorry. It all depends on how true those claims are. Admitting any wrongdoing by paying money doesn't look good. It seems like a tough situation all around. Meanwhile, there's also talk about someone's past involvement in a serious Ponzi scheme.
James Warren is the former COO of acquisitions of a real estate investment firm called Greenstone Ventures LLC, which is one of the businesses listed in this indictment of his former business partner, Joshua Hutchins.
It's definitely troubling when someone you trust turns out to be unreliable. James recommended Joshua Hutchins as a trustworthy person to invest with, but Hutchins is now in prison for 10 years. This has had a huge impact on one woman's life. It's a reminder to be very careful with who you trust with your money, and to always do your own research. Here's her testimony from some documents about what happened. It's really sad for the woman whose life has been turned upside down by this. She describes it as a major financial disaster, which is awful. Even though James didn't directly cause the problem, his endorsement of Joshua Hutchins was a big factor in why she invested.
She explains that the reason she trusted Mr. Hutchins was through the strong recommendation and endorsement from that very reputable and successful real estate agent.
So James does have some responsibility here. Dawson's look into the damages shows just how serious and tragic this situation is. It's a strong reminder to be very careful about who we trust with our money.
over $1.3 million in real losses. These are not, I got a piece of property, it was all fraud. She goes on to describe her financial troubles through the years. supporting her mother who had Alzheimer's disease, how in the crash of 2008.
And the difficulties faced by that woman are incredibly tough, with the way she's been treated being deeply troubling. Dawson suggests he can't be completely sure, but he believes it's likely that James might not be entirely innocent. When a business partner you've supported ends up with a 10-year prison sentence, it definitely raises some red flags. Additionally, there's something to consider about Creative Juice. Allegedly, they offered upfront money to help with projects, but in exchange, they wanted a share of future earnings from videos. This type of deal seemed quite questionable and probably best avoided.
But by 2017, LaQuia Hill was running an adult entertainment event business in San Francisco called LaQuia Hill Entertainment. Then in 2019, he was hired to MrBeast as a producer.
This situation definitely raises some eyebrows. Having people with questionable pasts in high positions within the MrBeast team does seem problematic, especially if their backgrounds were known or overlooked. A COO is a pretty senior role, so it's surprising that these issues weren't addressed sooner. We've seen cases of other team members, like convicted individuals, appearing in videos, which only adds to the growing concerns. The real issue seems to be a lack of proper checks or accountability. It's also tough when these kinds of things come out publicly. It can really damage reputations and trust. Right now, it feels like everything is unraveling, and MrBeast's response will be crucial in handling the fallout. Some of these accusations are serious, and they don't look good for anyone involved. But ultimately, it all depends on how these claims are addressed moving forward and how the team handles the situation. But this situation is really complicated and concerning. The allegations are serious, involving someone who allegedly mistreated an assistant but wasn't fired, just moved to another position instead. Then, deleting social media and later bringing this person back, despite the allegations, only adds to the confusion. Many are questioning why, if someone is accused of such serious actions, they aren't just let go. It seems like there's a struggle between protecting the company's image and making the right decisions regarding the people involved. And from a broader perspective, it's understandable that people expect accountability, especially when serious allegations are made. Companies need to be careful about how they handle such sensitive situations, as the perception of protecting someone accused of wrongdoing can lead to a loss of trust. This situation also highlights the challenge of responding to multiple accusations and the pressure to address each one transparently. Overall, it's a messy and disappointing situation that leaves many people feeling frustrated and looking for answers. It's surprising to see these allegations surfacing about MrBeast, especially given his reputation as a family-friendly and highly respected figure. There are multiple people, supposedly former employees, backing up these claims, which makes the situation seem suspicious. While it's possible the messages could be fake, the sheer number of them raises questions. It's clear that something happened, as the person in question was either fired or moved around within the company and put on paid leave. If any of these allegations are true, it definitely needs to be investigated. Keeping someone around who might have done something wrong is a serious issue, and it's surprising if the team knew about it and didn't take action sooner. Then there's the situation with MrBeast's childhood friend, Tyson, who was also accused of some pretty bad things. People speculated that MrBeast knew about these issues and kept Chris around anyway, which raises concerns. MrBeast eventually fired Chris, which seems to confirm that something serious was going on. This could point to a worrying pattern of letting questionable behavior slide, which is something that needs to be addressed if true. However, it's important to remember that a lot of this is still speculation. We don't have all the facts, and there's a lot of opinion mixed in with what's being reported. MrBeast did take action by firing the person involved after the allegations came to light, but it's unclear if that person was just moved to another role instead. Dawson, another involved party, made it clear that this person needs to be completely removed from the organization. It's understandable why someone might think twice about sharing their plans with a powerful company, especially when there are accusations of covering things up, deleting videos, and dealing with questionable people. It's easy to see why that might not feel like a safe move. On the other hand, it's clear that the person involved is just trying to do the right thing in a tough situation, facing off against billionaires with a lot of resources. He's just a regular guy, and not every decision will be perfect, which is totally normal. If the allegations about certain people still being around MrBeast are true, it adds another layer of complexity. But it's also important to remember that we don't always see the full picture of what's going on behind the scenes. So that's the situation with LaQuia and James Warren, the CEO and former CEO. Now let's move on to Jimmy and the claims about a toxic work culture and a sexist environment allegedly created under his watch. These are serious allegations, but it's important to remember that these are just claims. We can't confirm if they're true. However, some people might feel uneasy, especially considering the general vibe of the crew and the kind of people he's featured in his videos, like registered offenders, which does raise some eyebrows. Then there's the mention of Jess, one of the potential victims of Chris Tyson's alleged misconduct, and how MrBeast is supposedly re-reviewing his company's internal investigations, possibly because he didn't like the initial findings. This all paints a pretty complicated picture, and while it's hard to say what's really going on, it's definitely something that raises a lot of questions. It's concerning when an investigation is run by the person being investigated or someone with connections to them. The investigation should be impartial, and even hiring a third party doesn't always guarantee that. If controversial figures aren't removed, it's natural for people to remain skeptical. Making the investigation results public could help clear things up, but that depends on what's found. The allegations against MrBeast are serious, and if true, they're very troubling. So the latest accusation isn't about James or Lakoa. It's a serious claim about MrBeast, suggesting he knew about some serious allegations and tried to cover them up. If true, that's quite shocking. But of course, we need to wait and see if any of this is actually accurate. It'll be interesting to see if MrBeast has a way to clear his name. Also, Dawson brings up some stuff about MrBeast's ex-girlfriend Maddie and mentions some problematic comments from MrBeast. So that's a lot to process. The clips might suggest something problematic, but some argue they're just jokes or taken out of context. It's important to consider all the evidence and testimonies before forming an opinion. Given the serious nature of the allegations, it's understandable why people might feel concerned. So, what do you think? Do you believe the allegations, or do you think MrBeast is innocent? Let me know your thoughts. If you like our channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell icon so you always stay updated. Until next time.